Hey RV family, keep it tight. My name is Jaymorris the RV Guy, and I'm back again to bring you another video, and in this one I'm going to be covering the new Lotus Thief record entitled Oresteia. Chances are you might not have heard of these guys, but I think you should. They're a band that merges post-black metal and ambient music with a little bit of progressive metal thrown in there for good measure, because what genre doesn't have progressive metal nowadays thrown in? It feels like it just needs to be checked off a list before you put out a metal album. Fronted by none other than Bezaelith, who you might recall from her contributions to the San Francisco black metal project Botanist, which is a name that's become fairly recognizable in the grand scheme of things. Jumping right into this, it's a fairly creative record, it really is. When it comes to organization, I feel like everything sounds fairly crisp, all things considered. Progressions from one section of a track to another happen instantaneously, and more importantly, in my opinion, seamlessly. It's very easy to get caught up in the quite beautiful post-rock sections, the rigid black metal sections, the ambient interludes, and everything in between, because the band does a great job of making it just look effortless. You're constantly being hit with pianos and drums and guitar, cymbal hits, female vocals that are ranging from chest voice to head voice to black metal wretches, which I will say the black metal vocals aren't necessarily the most stand out. And I wouldn't even say that in the grand scheme of post-black metal and ambient music, the female vocals that are higher up in the register, the falsetto register, sound that outstanding either. Even though they are pulled off in a strong way, the ethereal female vocals in this type of music aren't really anything new. They have been done on countless features as well as bands themselves, and I would kind of compare them and equate them to something you could have gotten off of Hour of the Nightingale by Trees of Eternity and anyone that's involved in the underground, and that name has kind of been associated with even greater things, usually to the death of the lead singer, who did great. I guess my one only major complaint with the instrumentation has to be the drums. Even though they do have a decent resonance to them, they can sound a bit muffled at times. The drums aren't that distracting. I don't want to come off saying that they're terrible or anything, because overall the sound of this record is great. And for once, a post-black metal band recently that is finally starting to understand spacing and interludes, considering it's a ballsy move to stick an interlude as your second track. But it's understandable. It makes sense. It comes right after an 8-minute track, and it's only 2 minutes. So many post-black metal bands feel they need to space it out to the degree that it just becomes so mundane. I just hate it that any metal genre that has the word atmospheric thrown in their title just has a very bad habit of not understanding how spacing really works, and for a genre that is supposed to be built on space and usually longer tracks, that is a detriment to their sound. But luckily that is not found here. And on the topic of that interlude, it's disturbing. They create so much force in a short span of time. I feel so constricted, and as it reaches its conclusion, it just makes you feel like you have 15 eyeballs staring from behind you. We're good. Eeriness and simplicity is one of my favorite sounds in music, and they nail this. I can't emphasize that enough. They nail this. I feel like I'm about to be stretched so hard that I rip apart at the seams. A lot of times, a lot of the post-black metal bands that I hear nowadays have a habit of making the black metal bits so mind-numbing to listen to that it just becomes tedious and it becomes mundane. But in the grand scheme of things, it's kind of few and far between here. And I'm kind of glad, because the album comes out the other side sounding great. Rough around the edges, but beautiful when it needs to be, like on the track Libation Bearers. Her voice comes off sounding so cold, but so commanding, like she's about to send me off to war and I'm ready. However, in the breakdown of instrumentation near the midway point, it just becomes so minimalistic, and the vocals really do take the forefront and dominate your ears from left, right to center. This is something that I could genuinely say sounds orgasmic. With a keen eye for spacing and using spacious, expansive soundscapes, this is a mostly gratifying record with a satisfying conclusion, a satisfying sound, without having to be the most extreme thing you've ever heard, with some roaring sections though. I guess the only gripes I'd have with the record is I wish the drums maybe had a little bit more resonance to them. Some of these tracks can be a little bit hard to tell apart in the grand scheme of things, and for a short record, I think that is a pretty sad thing. I wish the record maybe was a little bit longer, and I wish that the interludes were kind of expanded upon, actually. because I think some of the best moments on the record are when they embrace that spacious atmosphere. Otherwise, this is a record I'm enjoying quite a bit, and I do recommend it to all of you guys that enjoy post-black metal, atmospheric black metal, ambient music, progressive music, because I think you'll get a lot out of it, because I personally did. I'm going to be giving this album a 7.5 out of 10. And that is a wrap. Have you heard this new Lotus Thief record, Oresteia? If you have, let me know in the comment section below what you thought about it. I would love to discuss the record with you. Be sure to stay for the end screen and link some videos that you might be interested in. Like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to join the review family today, and smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. You know who it is. My name is Jay Morris, the Review Guy, and I'm signing off saying, go ahead, live your best life.